Imagine this. You wake up in a world where health is normal, not rare, not something you have to hunt for on podcasts, in comment sections, or from that one brave uncle who stopped eating cereal and suddenly became the family medical mystery because his blood sugar got better. No, in this world, health is expected. Children wake up rested. Parents are not rushing to pack a backpack full of snacks every 2 hours, like their kid is preparing for a wilderness expedition across aisle 7 of the grocery store. Breakfast is simple. Eggs on the stove, fresh sausage, maybe leftover steak, maybe burger patties. Real food, the kind of food human beings have recognized as nourishment for generations. The kitchen smells like life. The children sit down, eat, and leave the house fueled. Not hyped up, not sugar rushed, not one waffle away from emotional collapse. Fueled. And as they head to school, nobody thinks this is unusual. Because in this world, people understand something basic. The body requires essential amino acids. The body requires essential fatty acids. But carbohydrates, they are not essential. Common, yes. Popular, absolutely. Marketed like a celebrity with a publicist and a lighting crew, without question. But essential? No. And because society understands that, everything changes. The school cafeteria changes. No more pretending a blueberry muffin and apple juice is a strong academic strategy. No more breakfast that looks like dessert with an attendance policy. Instead, schools serve fresh animal-based meals. Eggs, ground beef, turkey sausage, freshly prepared food that actually helps kids focus. Teachers notice it. Less crashing, less irritability, better attention, more stable energy. And obesity in children, it exists once in a while because life is never perfect, but it is rare enough that it raises concern. People do not shrug and say, well, that's just how kids are now. No, they ask what happened because sickness is not normal just because it became common. Now imagine driving past farmland in that same world. You don't see soil being destroyed for the sake of cheap convenience calories. You see regenerative farming, animals raised with care, land being restored, farmers respected, food production and human health no longer working against each other, like two co-workers forced into the same office after a bad HR complaint. In this world, the farm and the family are connected again. Then you walk into a doctor's office. And the doctor isn't just asking how to control disease. The doctor is asking why it began. The conversation starts with nourishment, starts with metabolism, starts with insulin resistance, starts with root cause. The doctor understands that a body fed well behaves differently. Hormones respond differently. Hunger behaves differently. Inflammation behaves differently. The mind behaves differently. And in that world, it is shocking to see teenagers exhausted all day. It is shocking to see a 10-year-old with fatty liver. It is shocking to see adults so inflamed, overweight, under-muscled, over-medicated, and undernourished by middle age. Because in that world, we do not normalize preventive sickness. Now let me ask you something. Does that sound like fantasy? Or does it sound like sanity? Tell me in the comments, because to me, that sounds less like a dream and more like what happens when human beings finally decide to live in alignment with biology instead of marketing. And that is where this video begins. Because every time the carnivore diet starts gaining momentum, the backlash comes right back. They call it dangerous. They call it unsustainable. They call it extreme. Meanwhile, millions are walking around exhausted, inflamed, overweight, anxious, hungry every 2 hours, and dependent on products that come in boxes with ingredient lists longer than a hospital discharge summary. But yes, of course, the steak is the problem. What critics often miss is this. Carnivore is not just a diet. It is a challenge to assumptions, a challenge to industries, a challenge to experts who have spent decades repeating ideas that are not working. And maybe that is why this way of eating triggers so many people. Because once you realize the body truly needs protein and fat, but not dietary carbohydrate, the entire conversation changes. Once you realize meat contains highly bioavailable nutrients the body can actually use, the fear starts to crack. Once you realize that many people feel better not because they joined a cult, but because they have removed ultra-processed foods, stabilized their blood sugar, improve satiety, and reduce inflammatory triggers. The criticism starts sounding a little less scientific and a little more emotional. And let's be honest, some of the outrage is not really about science. It's about identity. It's about worldview. It's about the discomfort of seeing people get results from something that was supposed to fail. Because when someone says, I ate meat, eggs, salt, and water, and I lost weight, my cravings dropped, my mind cleared, my pain improved, and I finally feel human again, that creates a problem for the standard narrative. Now, does that mean carnivore is perfect for everybody in every circumstance forever? No, and I don't need to pretend that. There are evidence gaps. There are long-term questions. There are people who need guidance. There are people who may do better with broader low-carb or ketogenic approaches. There are people who need to monitor electrolytes, digestion, medications, and adaptation symptoms. That's called being thoughtful. That's called medicine. But thoughtful is not the same as dismissive. Because one thing I've learned from taking care of real people is this. When you see enough patients improve, you stop being overly impressed by shallow criticism. You cannot unsee the woman whose hunger finally calms down. You cannot unsee the man whose waistline shrinks and whose blood sugar improves. You cannot unsee the person who gets their brain back. And when you see that over and over again, you realize this is bigger than a menu choice. This is a movement. This is a fight for the future. I often think in terms of the kind of world we create little by little, not overnight, not with one viral video, not with one argument won in a comment section by somebody named @RibEyeWarrior47, but by daily decisions, disciplined decisions. Because a better life is usually built through small choices repeated with purpose. A better family culture is built that way. A better body is built that way. A better society is built that way. And if we want a better future for our children, then we have to become the kind of people willing to fight for it. That means we do not just imagine a healthier world. We build it meal by meal, family by family, farm by farm, clinic by clinic, school by school. This is not just some imaginary future floating in the clouds. This is what we are fighting to achieve. A world where children are strong. A world where parents understand nourishment. A world where metabolic disease is rare. A world where real food returns to the center. A world where fresh, animal-based breakfast in schools is not controversial. It is expected. A world where regenerative farming is standard. A world where people know what essential nutrients are. A world where future generations inherit strength instead of confusion. And yes, we need more people in this fight. We need more soldiers, more parents, more doctors, more farmers, more teachers, more leaders willing to say, enough. Enough of the confusion. Enough of the food theater. Enough of calling real food dangerous while populations get sicker every year. But here is the beautiful part. We already have an advantage. Many of us who eat this way know exactly what I'm talking about. There is a strength that comes with this. A steadiness, a clarity, a better ability to think, to focus, to endure, to speak boldly. And maybe one reason we see things more clearly because this way of eating gives us actual clarity. Funny how that works. Feed the body what it needs, and suddenly the brain starts filing fewer complaints. It turns out mental fog may not be a personality trait. Sometimes it was breakfast. And that clarity matters because confused people do not build strong futures. Weak, distracted, undernourished people do not lead revolutions in health. People with energy do. People with discipline do. People with vision do. People willing to become stronger than the systems trying to weaken them do. So when you call carnivore dangerous again, I want us to remember what is really happening. This is not just backlash. This is resistance to change. Resistance to a simple ideal that should have been obvious all along. When you nourish the human body well, it tends to work better. That should not be controversial. And yet here we are. So my message today is simple. Do not just defend carnivore. Represent what it makes possible. Represent the energy. Represent the healing. Represent the discipline. Represent the hope. Represent the future. Paint the vision so clearly that other people can see it too. A world where children are healthier, where schools serve real food, where families are stronger, where doctors look for root cause, where farming restores land, where obesity is rare, where metabolic disease loses its grip. That is worth fighting for. And if enough of us stay strong, stay clear, stay disciplined, and stay committed, then one day our children may grow up in that world and think it was normal. What a blessing that would be. To fight for something our grandchildren may one day take for granted. So no, this is not about meat. It's about mission. It's about courage. It's about building a world where truth is stronger than tradition. Biology is louder than marketing, and real nourishment returns to the center of human life. That is the fight. That is the vision. And that is why we keep going. And if this message speaks to you, put in the comments what kind of future you want for the next generation. And if you're ready to keep learning how to protect your metabolic health, your energy, and your life, make sure to subscribe. Because we are not just reacting to the world as it is. We are fighting for the world it could become.